Ladies and gentlemen, the news for Wuthering Waves 3.0 is not going to end. We've got more. Kuro Games is officially announcing the full new region preview for Lahai-Roi, actually going through and detailing all of the specifics of the different biomes, environments, exploration mechanics that we're going to be seeing in just a few days. So what we're going to be doing is actually breaking down, well, all of the great stuff that's actually going to be in here. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right on into it. So we're not going to actually go ahead and read this whole thing down here because it's like literally illegible. It's basically just a breakdown detailing that Lahai-Roi has a bit of a polar shift going on, and it has like this weird climate stuff happening. That's why it looks like a tropic, even though it's underneath snow, because that's where Lahai-Roi is. This is all underneath a mountain of snow. So yeah, that's just like some context for why it doesn't actually look like we're in Antarctica. Let's get on into the area events. So the first one's going to be Lahai-Roi Pioneers, and that's just going to be the baseline exploration event that we always get at the start of a big region expansion. Think areas like Renacida when they got added, as well as Septimont when they got added. We got something similar to this. And so the rewards for this bad boy are going to be Astrite, a sigil. So yeah, one of those things you can attach to your user profile, and you're seeing here 2 new materials. We now have a material that's going to be the Forgery Premium supply for Lahai-Roi units and a Premium Enclosure Tank for Lahai-Roi units. And so, if you're curious about what this actually means, let me show you. You might have noticed from the live stream that there are some unique details when it comes to some of the new playable units. So let me just use Linnae as an example over here. So one of the things about Linnae, right, is the fact that when it comes to her ascension materials, they're all going to be stuff that's from Lahai-Roi, right? Nothing too surprising about this. However, she's using a new skill upgrade material, and she's also using the Exo Swarm cores. What this means is that these new drops, these Forgery Premium supplies, Lahai-Roi, are essentially meant to cover this combustor material, right? And then the Premium Enclosure Tank, it's meant to encompass this Exo Swarm core. So if you want to think about it this way, one of the fastest ways to being able to build your units without using wave plates, the new 3.0 ones, will be to complete the new exploration. However, there is a bit of a situation regarding this. Let's just imagine that you don't actually pull any of the Lahai-Roi units. These rewards are effectively useless to you because you can only spend these on the Lahai-Roi characters and weapons. And so if you are building pre-3.0 units, these are, I guess, useless. Or you should save them, or I guess you can convert them or synthesize them, but that seems a little bit rough, right? I guess I'm more so surprised that they didn't come out with just like a general one that had 1.0 to 3.0 mats. That seems like, to me, just, I don't know why they just wouldn't have one that has all of the mats in it. It's kind of only just for the 3.0 stuff, but the thing is, you have rerun banners. And so I guess the logic here doesn't make that much sense to me. When you have rerun banners for units like this and this, like, and they use, why wouldn't you just have event rewards that just, like, why wouldn't you have event rewards that can be used on all 3 of the banners? It can only be used on one of them. Maybe some feedback, right? Maybe some feedback to potentially give to Kuro Games. Just, I mean, I'm just gonna be honest. I can see the reason for why they do it. It's just the restriction seems a little bit unnecessary to me and seems to go against the design of the rerun banners that they're putting in the version. That's just my take. You're free to disagree with it, but again, I'm just trying to see the thing that seems the most player friendly, and I don't think this is it. Now we got Capturing Starlight Photo Collection Event. This is basically the same event that we have every single update, and this is what I'll tell you about photo collection events. You actually don't have to do these, and you can just, these are permanent events. They get added to like the little log. You can just never actually do them, and you'll just permanently have them. That's, I've like forgotten to do them since forever, and on like a rainy day, I just plan on doing all of them at once. But yeah, That's because I don't want to take photos. I think it's fucking boring, so I just don't do this. But it's good to know that whenever I do need asteroid, I can just do them all. Now we got main quests. Chapter 3, Act 1, What Burns Beneath Frostlands. To reach Lahai-Roi in the midst of a void storm, you dive into a spatial tunnel. All right, so basically these are going to be like minor spoilers for what actually happens. And naturally, knowing that there's an Act 2, you've got to know that whatever happened in Act 1 naturally gets resolved, right? Otherwise, Act 2 can't happen. I'm not going to bother reading the... Okay, so it's going to be available on the 15th of June. That's the main thing. It's going to be a 2-part quest. I assume these chapters are going to be pretty beefy, considering that it's a 2-part quest, because if it's only like... It's probably going to be multiple hours, right? Oh, sorry, January, not June. You guys understand. But I guess we'll be going to the Bjarter Woods with Mornier. So that's some of the fun that you'll have over there. Now let's look at the new locations. Star Torch Academy. I'm gonna be honest. The setting and the colors of Star Torch Academy are... I'm not sure how I feel about it being this bright. Right? I'm personally of the mindset that it looks... Star Torch Academy, to me, looks like they had the saturation bar turned up by like 100%. These are probably like the brightest and the most vivid colors I've ever seen in like the game. Right? Very, very, very tropical aesthetic. You want to know what this reminds me of? A fucking Capri Sun. That's what this reminds me of. A goddamn Capri Sun. Right? You guys know what I'm talking about. It looks like there's an Instagram filter put over this thing. I'm not necessarily sure if that's a good or bad thing, but it does stand out a lot. And I just hope that it doesn't get to the point where it gets like, where you get like color fatigue from things being too bright. Because that's, color fatigue is 1,000,000% a thing. That's why there's not like rainbows and splashes of colors and shit like everywhere. Then we got the Rebirth Uplands. And this to me just looks like a literal racetrack that they have set up somewhere. So yeah, this literally looks like, yeah, I think this is a racetrack that they have set up. And I guess this is building on top of like part of that alien shit that was left behind with the Extra Strider. So yeah, this is probably where Lanae's gonna be spending most of her time. I mean, it's like a blend of like technological stuff, but then the architecture is still like mossy with like stones. So it's kind of like this blend of like technological ancient civilizations, which I think is very cool, right? I think the vibe to me literally is like alien Stonehenge. That's still the vibe that I get from this, because it's like angular but also aged. Now we got the etching planes, and this is where I feel like the aesthetic of Lahai-Roi really comes to a head. This looks like you're in Hawaii. It's kind of insane. It literally looks like you're kind of going down like a scenic vacation stretch, right? In Hawaii. Just think about it. You're like driving down like the hill, going over there and stuff. Like the beach is like down there. It feels like I'm in like a tropical like vacation spot, which it's definitely, I think it's just like a setting that a lot of people had no idea was coming, right? A lot of people thought like New Federation. A lot of people thought like, you know, like a sprawling urban city. They thought it was gonna be similar to Honami. And like, bro, it looks like you're at like a tropical beach resort. And that's, I think, the part that I feel like, where are like the TDs, the enemies, the other civilizations, that sort of stuff? I just want to see how it all fits together. Because these roads go somewhere. Right? There are roads going to Star Torch Academy, which we can clearly see here. Where are these roads going? Now we got the Marlborough Desert. And this is where it looks like we're in a blend of like fucking Dune and Horizon Zero Dawn. Bro, like, what is this thing? And like, why are we in like the Dune Desert at the same time? This shit looks crazy. And I feel like this is going to be one of those bosses that we're gonna like ride up this guy's like back on our motorcycles. It is 1,000,000% going to happen. You are going to drive your motorcycle up this thing. And, well, you remember what I said about Hawaii and tropical resorts? Yeah, that last screenshot was the sunset. This is like, I mean, what can I say, right? It looks like one of those like exotic islands that you go on vacation and it costs like $2 million. for a weekend. That's what it looks like here. I mean, fuck, it looks good, man. It looks damn good. I hope they get some sort of like beach resort event here. They better have a summer event where they get like a bunch of like, you know, new swimsuit skins for all the units because we've already done it. And then we get like a beach resort thing that like pops up over here. How the hell would you not? There's an actual literal rainbow that's naturally forming in the fucking area, bro. Come on. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. We all already know. Then we got the Bjarter Woods. And I feel like this area to me has to be one of the ones that stands out the most. Because this looks like an entirely different game. Like I've been saying, this looks like some Ori and like the Blind Forest shit. Gives me like a little bit of like Shadow of the Colossus vibes with like these kind of like, you know, very, very, very ancient architecture with like the circles and the rings and stuff. And then obviously all of this going on as well. It's really nice and it's very fantasy, and I think it's going to be something that's going to add a lot of variety to the huge influx of sci-fi that's coming in with 3.0. That's undeniable, but they're making sure to balance it out with its own fantasy component, which is cool. And then we've got the Fang Spire Chasm. And this to me is really looking very similar to the area in 2.6 and 2.7, the Sanguis Plateau. Remember where we fought the False Sovereign? It is giving me like very similar vibes to that, but it's a little bit more Mass Effect-y at the same time because this is actually a giant sword. Yeah, no, that's a sword. And that's like architecture built around a sword. That's the giant Gundam sword. So that's where the sci-fi is coming back. And now we've got the Starward Riseway. This was the front end, right, of that thing. You see the sword behind it. That sword is behind it over here. This is just an alternative angle, right? It's like we went all the way down, and this is all the way down and out like this. So, yeah. If you wanted it to look different from Sanguis Plateau, the place where we fought the False Sovereign, don't worry. This is just like, that's the same area. So this really is just like a lighting thing. These areas are like, you could walk in-game for like 30 seconds and take both of these shots. Just imagine riding up this thing on your motorcycle. Yeah, imagine using this as a runway for your motorcycle and seeing how high you can go. That's gonna be a lot of fun. All right. So clearly, all of that stuff is looking great. Now let's look at the Giant's Gaze. And this is the part to me that really is just screaming, yeah, we're gonna have some alien shit in this game. Because this is some alien shit in this game. What the hell even is this, brother? This looks like it should be on a different planet, like on Mars. But nah, this is Earth, brother. Now let's take a look at the next event. Operation Frontier Renewal. And this is the thing where I looked at this and I was like, oh, this is a little bit like Arknight's Enfield, actually. Lahai-Roi's route network, along with Space Trek's observatory that used to monitor its terrain, ecosystem, and climate, has been devastated by a void storm. It's time to rebuild them all. Use rebuild materials gathered in Lahai-Roi to assist Delifa in restoring the route network and the Space Trek Observatory. So, yeah, I guess this is just gonna be us, like, walking around to a bunch of different spots to, like, rebuild these things, that will make new roads. And the goal is to just rebuild every road in Lahai-Roi. After doing that, it's gonna unlock new content and increase the network activity of an area. So this looks like it's essentially the exploration mechanic, and you won't be able to get like 100% exploration unless you unlock all of the additional new contents and collectibles from, you know, doing these things. Reaching certain activity milestones advances the Space Trek Observatory's rebuild progress, and you can use that to broadcast control signals, adjust the weather as well. Cool. Now we got Peaks of Prestige, the Rekindled Duel. Ladies and gentlemen, the TFT card game is finally back. The honestly only good minigame that we had in version 2.0. Maybe that with fishing. I wonder if they're gonna have us dueling on bikes, because that's also something that Yu-Gi-Oh did too. I think we all forget that Yu-Gi-Oh did that. Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh had an arc where they dueled on bikes. That was it was really retarded, but that they literally did it. So, there's clearly a perfect opportunity for us to maybe do a little bit of that here. It would be very funny if that actually happened. But yeah, Peaks of Prestige has its own fan club at Star Torch Academy, but apparently there is a crisis. Now, the fate of the fan club lies entirely in your hands. Build your own custom Peaks of Prestige decks using new special cards and face off against every duelist in Lahai-Roi. Great. We're going to have the PP. We're going to be the leader of the PP fan club. The PP fan club. Hell yeah, brother. Earn Lahai-Roi rank points by defeating opponents to increase your rank level. Climb the ranks to unlock new cards and powerful tactics. Now we got the search for the Solace skin. I don't like how this sounds. There's just, I don't really like just anything. There shouldn't really be anything that ever has like something and then skin after it. It's just not a good name. Searching for skin. Like, if you just like mess up saying this, it sounds so bad. Like, if you like stumble over your words, you literally say search for skin. This is such a bad event name. Like, search for Solace. Some Solaskin, having lost their shepherd's guidance, now wander Lahai-Roi. Seek out these lost Solace skin and bring the Solace seeds you gathered to the giant Solace skin on the Smart Print Cube Reboot. Move the cube blocker to complete the Smart Print Cube compilation and reactivate the Smart Printer. Wait, they got 3D printing in this game? Okay, wait, let's check this out. Hey, this is actually kind of cool. Wait, no, okay, that's actually kind of cool. That is unique enough to actually be kind of interesting. I like that. That's like basic enough, but also has like that little layer of complexity that makes it engaging. I'm cool with that. Route Constructor Racing Challenge. I mean, this is just going to be fun. I don't think there's any additional commentary we're gonna make. It's just racing through rings, it's just a racing game, which are inherently fun. So it looks good to me. But yeah, that looks like to me pretty much every single event, every single setting, everything that's actually gonna be coming with Lahai-Roi. And one thing that I noticed was that we didn't get a preview for a lot of the rewards for pretty much anything after like the very first event. So I don't know if this is like Kuro Games like low-key fucking up because they like forgot to add the rewards for literally everything else. Because like this is the type of shit where maybe you should have put the rewards. Isn't this just inconsistent that they showed these and then nothing else? I don't know. Low-key, it feels like this is incomplete, but maybe I'm just tripping. It seems like it's incomplete because there's no way that these don't have rewards, but like, why not show them? Or maybe they're tied to the exploration. And so these are just like exploration things. And that's why. I don't really know. We'll see. Right? Anyways, I naturally have like a couple of issues on my end, specifically with the delivery of like only Lahai-Roi mats. I think that's just like a little bit weird. I'm not the biggest fan of it. But other than that, a lot of the stuff in this update, there are clearly some things that are going to be very subjective, like how you deem the environment and the aesthetic and how you feel about it. But I think there's a lot of things that are just going to look objectively pretty great. I'm not super sure how I feel about this exploration mechanic. I'd like to see how tedious it feels, because one moment that I don't want to have is like feeling like, okay, great, it's like a massive number of chores. Now I gotta go find this thing in like one corner of the fucking map. Gotta go find whatever the fuck this green circle in a tube is in that other corner, and then this circular rock elsewhere. As long as this one doesn't feel like some crazy chore where it's like, okay, like I don't want to rebuild it, I think it'll be fine, right? But yeah, all the other exploration events look pretty solid to me. I really like this whole layout that they got over here, showing like the duels. They really added a lot, it appears, to the POP, like the PP fan club actual integration. So yeah, I mean, even like the puzzles, right? Which can be the stuff that turns you off the most. Even the puzzles still look pretty innovative and pretty fun. And of course, nobody can complain about racing. So yeah, I think the thing that I'm looking the most forward to in the update, when it comes to like the side activities, is without a doubt going to be the PP fan club. And so if there are any other PP enjoyers like me, let's get ready for a lot of PP content very soon. So yeah, that will be it for this one, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you all thought. Peace out.